I just heard you call up. I was speaking about it earlier about the wheelchair rugby national championships. I was out there at Key Centre over the weekend. That Jono Farr called. Actually, for I'm the general manager of Wheelchair Rugby Australia, and just wanted to see if there was any interest in chatting through it with you boys, because it was an outstanding carnival or tournament. I must admit
on the weekend just gone.
Yeah, the weekend just gone.
Give us what stood out,
mate. We had 6 teams competing for the national championship right across Australia. We had New Zealand come over as well, but it was probably the most even championship people have said. The sports scene in about 15 years. Every side, I think, won 2 matches as a minimum. Every side had a loss as well. So, in that regard, it came right down. I think to actually decipher who was going to be in the bronze and the gold medal games came right down until I think the last point in the last round game to see which of the 6 teams would actually make up those spots. And then our final went in a double extra overtime as well with Victoria and Queensland. So, from a sport perspective, for wheelchair rugby in Australia, couldn't have gone any better for us. Oh,
that's terrific. When's the next big event?
Mate, next big event for the Australian Steelers, it'll be for the Australian Steelers, actually the Zonal Championship. It's over in Korea. And that's obviously the last one, the last major event in the lead into obviously the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Australia's already qualified for that, which is exciting as well, and we're still ranked world number 1 in wheelchair rugby.
And has the squad been selected for that, Chris?
The squad hasn't been selected for zonals just yet, mainly because there's a bit of interest around performances from the national championship, which happened on the weekend. So no doubt the head coach Brad Doobley and stuff will sit down and sort of work out whether there's any spots that have been changed or whether there's any sort of debutants looking to come through and that sort of thing. I think given that we've already qualified for the Paralympic Games, given that we've already qualified for those, I'd imagine that they'll start opening up to get a bit of depth through the squad as well.
Can you give us a little bit of an understanding of how much time and effort they actually put into this, Chris?
Yeah, mate, look, it's an interesting one because a lot of people hear about disability sport and they'll sort of think like, oh, it's awesome, like they're very skilled, but they're also like, it's like such a nice sort of a nice friendly atmosphere and that sort of thing as well. But I guess that's where the misconception lies. I mean, these guys are full-time professional athletes. They train full-time. Their hours and scheduling and the programs that they're using and the nutrition and everything like that is exactly the same as what, your NRL player, your Super Rugby style player would be. And so off the back of that, mate, their commitment is about 6 days a week worth of training.
Wow.
A lot of stuff in terms of increasing chair speed, a lot of weight stuff, a lot of tactical stuff. There's flying annually, sort of flying around the country in Australian camps and things like that to succeed in it. So that's probably the biggest difference is that it can get misconstrued as something that's sort of there for as much for rehab as it is for sport. Well, this is a sport and it's a high energy sport, and I think that's probably the main difference we can take out of it.
Good stuff, mate. Keep us up to date, Chris, with how the selections unfold as well. We thank you for your time.
Will do. No worries. Thanks for the time.